Welcome back to my book channel. My name is Lady Lauren Explorer, and today isn't a good day right now, but I wanted to get this done because I just finished it. I have a huge migraine and I have class in 2 hours, so I just wanted to get this out the way. This is 100 Days by Missy Hall. And as the title says, it's like 50 states, 2 boys, 1 love story. And this is going to be short and quick. I thought I was really going to like this because this is forced proximity and mutual pining, as I saw. But this was so frustrating. So we have Aiden and Jake. They have been best friends for 16 years. Aiden has just came back from a year abroad in Britain. And Jake has had a crush on Aiden for the longest time. But he doesn't think that they are a good fit because also he doesn't want to ruin 16 years of being best friends. He doesn't want to take that risk, basically. So he's just pining. And Aiden, on the other hand, hasn't really, he's out, but he's only had one sexual relationship and he regretted that whole entire thing. And then Jake, on the other hand, is something that just has sex a lot. So they go on this road trip, and again, it's forced proximity, and it's dual perspective. So you can tell that both of them want the same thing, but they're just so nervous to talk about it. And as the days go on, the tensions get more intense. And then it finally breaks. But Jake just makes it weird, where he's like, hey, this is only going to be for the road. And then in his mind, he's just like, I just want this to be for the road. Because when we get back, I don't want him to feel like I am bringing him down because of his dream. And then Aiden, on the other hand, is just like, I want to be together. Sorry. I want this to be. But Jake ruins a lot. He's scared to ruin this, but then he ruins it because he's scared. And it was just so frustrating. I got to 184 pages, and then I did not care about the story anymore. I finished it, but I was just like, I don't care anymore. This is just too much pining. It's just so frustrating when we know the characters love each other and they don't say it. They don't push towards it. They pull away. It was just a lot. And I was just like, I have a migraine. I don't want, this is too complicated for me. And I'm done. But I continued on, and I'm glad that they have their happily ever after, or HEA, but this is a no for me. I think I'm going to give it a 3 because the steam was pretty good. I wish it was more graphic. I also wish that we had more instances of being in their mind when they're actually having sex, because you could tell somewhat that the love was there. But yeah, this was okay. This is 3 for me. All right, guys. So I have to DNF Stranger Than Fiction by Chris Colfer, mainly because I don't like the writing style of this. I read 6 pages and it just didn't click for me. It didn't make me interested in reading it anymore. And then I was like, okay, well, let me just look at a 5-star review and see if that will help me want to continue reading this. And it didn't. And then I looked at a 3-star review and I realized that this was just going to be boring for me right now. And I don't want that. I don't want discovery. I want romance. And this was going to be discovery and acknowledgement. This is going to be all that, and I don't want that. So I am DNFing this and moving on to another book. But FYI, it's the same day as when I filmed 100 Days. So my headache is gone. I went to class. So yeah, on to the next book. All right. So I got 42% into Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is about like Roran and Zara. This is the interracial Grumpy Sunshine. And I realized that I wasn't giving this book the benefit of the doubt. I didn't like it. It was taking me so much time to read it. So I'm DNFing this because right now I'm in the mood for like my romances to be dark. And he wasn't as grumpy as I wanted. He's kind of like a grumpy fluffy. And I'm not wanting that. But I do know that like I did like it. I'm just not liking it now. So I need to give it its fair shot. So I'm DNFing it and we'll be rereading this later on this year. But I did finish this complete series, this trilogy, Dating Him by Anna Kavrin and Michelle McQueen. This is 3 interconnected stories. It's dating Nashville, dating Washington, and dating Texas. And they each have 3 different couples in it. The first couple is Nikki and Bex is a country music singer. And Bex is a country music singer, and Nikki is Bex's best friend's brother. Also his sister's best friend. And they fake date. Dating Washington is the president's son with the senator's son who is closeted. And then dating Texas is a NHL player who is finding out that he likes his nerdy roommate who doesn't like sports. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed 2 of these books. The second book, Dating Washington, they're interconnected. So in Dating Washington, the main couple is Kenny and Asher is the president's son, and Kenny is the senator's son. But Kenny used to date Nikki. It's a whole thought, but I don't like Kenny. because of what he did to Mickey. So when I realized that the second book was going to be Kenny's book, I didn't like it. So I had a very horrible time reading his HEA because I didn't think he deserved an HEA for what he put Mickey through. But it's whatever. So 2 out of the 3 books I thoroughly enjoyed because Killen and Diego are the third couple, and Killen is the hockey star, and Diego is the nerd, and they're really cute together. There is no steam, just lots of kisses, and it's really nice. It's a thick one. It's like 600 and something pages, 625 pages. But if you like all 3 stories and it's going to be good, I only liked 2, like I said. And I think I'm going to give this book a 3.5, mainly because Kenny's story I like. So, there it is. Well, let's move on to our next books. Infinite Noise. This is about Caleb and Adam. So Caleb has these powers. He can feel the emotions of people around him, and if he hones into these emotions, he can actually change them if he wanted to. He's just getting into this. He's in high school and he's a football player. And it's just a lot for him to go through this and then deal with like these powers that he has. He realizes that one day there's this boy named Adam who silences everything around him. So he's not feeling all these emotions from all these teenagers. And it's basically what's going on with Caleb and his romance with Adam. Because Adam's family has some questionable things. This is actually a series, but each book is a standalone. And I gave this book a 3, I think, because I wish it would expand upon what was going on in the world, but I think as you go on with the series, it does expand. I also think that how Adam handled his parent situation was a little too cookie cutter, a little too Hollywood. This is the HEA ending. And I also think that him and Caleb's resolving their tension was a little cookie cutter too. But again, it's a young adult novel, so I know that it was content. I was content with this. The Hookup Dilemma. I finished it last night, and it is. I didn't think I was gonna like this actually. So, word up to me. I sometimes like to give things a chance, and that's why I do this. So, this is about Rashada. Rashada is a food critic, and one day she decides she's a food critic who's trying to save her neighborhood, her grandma's neighborhood, the neighborhood that she feels more safe with. And this is about Elliot as well. So it's Rashada and Elliot. Elliot is an architect, but his father is a big business, construction business kind of enterprise. One day, while his father is down and for the count because of, I think, heart problems, Elliot's taking over for him while he's recuperating. He decides that it's his birthday. He's going to go to a bar and then just chill out, like hang. He's been working for a long time. He just wants to, treat himself. As he's going down out of the building, he sees this voluptuous woman who sparks his interest going into his building. And he's like, yeah, I wish she came to my office because I need a little spice in my life. But he just continues on to the bar, and it just so happens that after a couple of minutes, she comes into the bar as well, and she sits down with him, and they have a conversation, and that conversation leads to dinner, and that dinner leads to a one-night stand. And it's a one-night stand that Elliot does not want to end until, well, he actually doesn't want to end anyway. But they find out that his father's company is trying to build in her grandmother's community neighborhood. And she knows that what will happen if when that does happen is that they'll gentrify the neighborhood, making the property taxes go up, and all the elderly people who live in that neighborhood get booted out for young entrepreneurs and urban people to move into these now nice gentrified places. She then realizes that the company owner is his father, and she doesn't want anything to do with him, but he wants to do everything with her. It's he falls first, and she is just playing hard to get, but then she just doesn't try. She gives in, and it's just like so sweet. There's a little bit of angst in here, and I think I gave this book a 4.5 or 4.25, and yeah, I finished it last night, so it was good. So I finished Christina Lauren's Sweet Filthy Boy last night, and I gave this book a 4-star. This is totally sweet. I actually didn't expect to like this because, I mean, I just didn't expect to like it. The synopsis was like so-so, and then the cover was just like, do I really want it? But I knew that this was smutty, and I was like, all right, well, I'll try it out, and I've been holding off on it. When I tell you that I literally did not expect to like this book, and it was good, great even, that's what this was. We are following Mia. Mia just graduated from college. She is doing a weekend trip to Vegas with her 2 best girlfriends they're from San Diego, so they're just trying to experience something before they actually go to other things. She's going to Boston for, I think, a business degree, which she does not want, but her father's paying for everything. Well, everything. The apartment she's going to be staying in, all that kind of stuff. So she feels kind of obligated to do this. Plus, she got accepted because he's the one who's forcing her to do all this stuff. She has a traumatic past because she used to love dancing and be a dancer, but there was an accident that happened where she was hit by a bus and shattered her leg to the point where they have to put screws and artificial limbs in her leg for everything to work out so she could walk again. So she has this, she's lost her passion for the sport because she says that she can't dance anymore. So why not just get a business degree that someone else is paying for, While they're in Vegas, she happens to look across this club and sees this angelic guy just staring at her. Another thing about Mia is because of all the stuff that's happened to her, she has a stuttering problem and she's very shy, so she won't talk. It's almost like she's like a selective mute when it comes to people who aren't around her. She gets super nervous and just starts stuttering because she's so nervous. She doesn't go to this guy, but there's an instant connection with him. But she won't pursue it because she's only here for a weekend and she's not that type of girl. They make it back to their hotel room, and her 2 best friends are like knocked out because they're drunk too much. She's trying to go to sleep, but the people across the hall from her are making so much noise to the point where she gets up, goes out to them and knocks on their door, and guess who happens to be there? It's a guy from the club that she saw. And he is trying to put some game on her, talking about, I was trying to find you. Just tell me your name. I'm sorry. And it's just so cute because he's French. And you can hear it in his accent because he's speaking perfectly good English, but he has an inflection that you can tell he's a Frenchman. And she realizes this because he he answers the door in boxers. And that's it. So she's like trying not to look down and look at him, and he knows that she is, and he's looking at her. It's just so cute and filled with tension. They flirt a little bit, the banter happens. Then she goes back to her room, and he's just like, I want to see you tomorrow. And she says, maybe, and then walks away. The next day happens, they're at a bar, and just so happens that some guy comes up behind her and just pulls him to his chest. And it's the same guy from across the hall. They talk and talk and drink. One thing leads to another, and she wakes up with a ring on her hand and a note from him saying, hey, don't do anything crazy. Just please come downstairs. We have to talk about this. And this is the story of Mia being spontaneous. Yeah, she got married to a guy she just met in Vegas. He doesn't want to get annulled. He wants her because she, when she was drunk, wrote a letter to herself and had him promise her that when she was sober, she would go to France with him for the summer before coming back to America and going to school in Boston. That sounds so crazy, right? Like that's the synopsis they gave me. She was in Vegas, got super drunk with this very attractive and sensual guy, wakes up married to him, and he tells her, hey, I don't want to get annulled. I want to stay married to you. Come with me to Paris for the summer. That's what this book is about, but it's so much more. You can tell the characterization of Ansel is just so compelling. Like, if I met this guy, I would fall in love with him. And that's basically what she's doing. She's living something that she hasn't done and just wants to do, and not following what other people want her to do. She just hasn't seen it. And she's just going through the motions of, I don't even know how to like put in words this, what I felt about this and what she's going through. You just have to read this. How about that? You just have to read this because this was so good. The steam, Ansel, he's a great book boyfriend. Book husband, I don't care. He's so good. And he has his own problems as well because he's a workaholic. So she's trying to like balance being in a new country while her husband, I mean, technically I don't have to do this because they are married, but her husband is a workaholic, and he realizes that he's what he's doing, and then tries to undo all of the like the guilt he feels about leaving her. And it's just so amazing and very sexy. Very sexy. There is so much sexy time. Yeah. He is unbelievably understanding, sensual. There's a point in time where like, my roommate and I were talking about this book because of something. Okay, let me tell you. While she's in Paris, he gives her like phrases to say so she can learn French while she's out and about. But once I get past the awkwardness of him being a workaholic and him acknowledging that, and leaving her to fend for herself most of the time, and he gets steamy, he leaves a note that says like all these like kinky phrases, like F me harder, or I want a dildo the same size as my husband, you know? But there's one phrase that like had me and my roommate just like cracking up. And it's the one where he tells her, like in the note, it says, I'm going to come in your mouth, you beautiful girl. And hearing it in French is so much better. And I loved it. Oh my gosh. It was This one's good. This one's good. So while I'm here, I'm just going to tell you that I'm not going to read Love Con. All right, what is it called? Yeah, Love Con. I realized that I don't really want to read that kind of book right now. I'm in the mood for some very, dark and kinky stuff. So I wouldn't give that book justice it deserves, even if, like I try to read it right now. But yeah, so I'm gonna DNF it for now and then pick it up later on. So like I think I have 3 books that I DNF and will reread again from this TBR. But yeah, I just couldn't. It wasn't fair. It's like fine print. Like I thought I was going in it feeling one thing and then I came out feeling another. But I realized I wasn't in the mood to read that because it was just like a grumpy sunshine kind of thing. And I was looking for a grumpy, kinky sunshine, maybe, Oh well. Anyways, so this is the end of my wrap up. I hope you liked February's wrap up. I hope I introduced you to some books that you probably haven't heard of or hadn't thought of reading, and you just go ahead and read it. But I'm telling you, some of these books were really good. Really, really good. Enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But I am Lady Lauren Explorer. I hope to see you guys in my next video. I post a video almost every single day, and March is going to be a new way of doing my TBRs because I'm technically just going to give you a book a day. Well, I'm trying to give you a book a day, and that's how you know what I read. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I think I really have a schedule for them. So I think every other day it'll be a romance, and then the in-between days will be a Killian. I don't know yet, but I just know that there's going to be a book review almost every single day, besides book hauls, book recommendation videos, and my most anticipated book releases. Love those. So stay tuned for that in March, and I will see you then. Bye.